In today's resource-constrained environment, the CE community is looking for ways to do things smarter, faster, and cheaper. Part of our transformation in operations involves applying asset management principles in everything we do. Our shops have been using asset management for years. You called it common sense. When you replaced an old pump with a new product that required less maintenance, you didn't follow the old maintenance schedule. When equipment prices fell so that replacement parts became cheaper than maintenance, you replaced the old equipment at the point of failure. Instead of RWP maintenance supplies, you had spares on the shelf. Unfortunately, we seldom captured your wisdom and shared it across the Air Force. And we rarely use this collective insight to help fight for project funding or predict future needs, but all of that is changing. The biggest change coming in our day-to-day business is an increased emphasis on preventative maintenance. Formerly called the Recurring Work Program, preventative maintenance will focus on performing the right sustainment work first before addressing enhancement work. It's about a better way to identify, forecast, and align the maintenance actions of CE operations to manage mission risks and ensure our critical infrastructure components remain functional. In other words, we have to protect what we have today because we can't afford to unnecessarily replace those assets tomorrow. We have to get this right because we can't afford to conduct business as we have in the past. We must focus our maintenance time and money against the mission-critical items that matter the most. It's about sustaining our installations more efficiently and giving ops flights across the Air Force a voice in fighting for infrastructure repairs.
So how do we make this work? The first step is a shift in where we focus our efforts. Right now, routine direct schedule work orders have to be addressed within 30 days. This is true regardless of their risk to the mission or their return on investment. We're transitioning to working on the most important work orders first, instead of the oldest. Maintenance requirements that pose the greatest risk to the mission and have the best return on investment will have priority. These are things our CE ops leaders already know and do, but this effort will add a corporate structure to back up the asset investment decisions of the field leadership. When we can't accomplish tasks because of limitations in people or finances, CE leadership will be there to back you up with consistent Air Force-wide data. The three key elements needed to start this process are prioritizing base facilities, inventorying equipment and systems in those facilities, and assessing the condition of that inventory. This approach requires that facilities and systems be evaluated and ranked based upon their relevance and criticality to the mission. We're going beyond the traditional contingency response plan to develop a broad tier concept based on mission impact. The development of this prioritized asset list is highly dependent on input from key stakeholders. Planning teams include wing commanders, operators, security forces, COM, as well as CE and others. Through this collaboration, we'll identify the most critical facilities on the base and establish the process to categorize facility assets into 4 broad tiers. This system provides a mission prioritized list of facilities and infrastructure to help you schedule your work, regulate your response times, and manage the expectations of your customers. Your maintenance responses will now line up with the priorities of the mission and warfighters on your base. Those identified high-risk assets can now be addressed ahead of those lower priority facilities. They will be tackled quicker because we, as CE Enterprise, will accept less risk for those upper tier facilities.
For us to implement preventative maintenance, we need to collect precise and reliable data on the inventory and condition of equipment in your facilities. In order to jumpstart this, AFCEC has awarded a contract to perform Sustainable Infrastructure Assessments, or SIAs, at major installations across the Air Force. SIA teams will inventory facilities and real property installed equipment that you maintain. Although this contract effort cannot possibly capture all information at every location, it will help CE build an accurate data foundation for establishing our new preventative maintenance program. In order to round out and complete the data needed, AFCEC will assist MAJCOMs and bases by providing a standardized data collection and maintenance toolkit. This kit includes commercial database management templates that migrate efficiently into next-gen IT. Now, ops flight and shop chief leadership is critical here. Your work capturing inventory and condition data will directly impact the success of our efforts and prove critical in defending our infrastructure budgets. Bottom line, we need your help. With this data in hand, we can begin to build a balanced program. To do this, every ops flight across the Air Force will use the same commercially available tools that have embedded maintenance action sheets, tasks, and labor hours to conduct their preventive maintenance program. This will, in effect, normalize preventive maintenance tasks to an industry standard. However, each base will still create their own balanced schedule by looking at the risk to mission of their infrastructure and equipment while weighing it against the funding and manpower currently available. Now, if we find a balanced PM program can reduce the amount of hours necessary for maintenance, wise leaders will reinvest those hours into additional sustainment work. That work will protect our infrastructure and maximize the life cycle of equipment. That equates to savings for our Air Force. Once we execute our PM program, the process will continue to be fine-tuned as we evaluate key performance indicators across the enterprise, indicators such as maintenance costs and maintenance ratios. To do this, we need your help in providing solid, reliable information so that we know where to make corporate adjustments. It will be absolutely imperative for our shops to complete their maintenance tasks and track hours accurately to indicate where the time is actually used. Your collective data will then help all operation flights become more effective as we continue to sustain critical infrastructure, continue to support the Air Force mission worldwide, and naturally continue to prove that Air Force civil engineers lead the way.